What is Gooch Gooch, beautiful beings? Alright, we are continuing this series of reading from the book that I'm currently reading, Bringers of the Dawn, Teachings of the Pleiadians. Now we started in chapter 6. I hope you guys got the book or the ebook, because now we are going to start with chapter 7. The Multidimensional Merge. You benefit by participating in the event of life. By simply being in physicality, you are endowed with experiences and characteristics that you cannot gather anywhere else. To be part of the physicality on Earth at this particular time and during the last 200,000 to 300,000 years is a very potent event indeed, because it means that you have come into a place where darkness has been reignited. You have had to struggle to open your eyes in any capacity and to recognize joy and upliftment. If you think back over modern history, you will find that it has been a rare event indeed for people to have had uplifting lives. Therefore, you must birth upliftment for yourself, and you must convince yourself that you can do it. The nature of existence on Earth has been a struggle between light and darkness for many eons. Some will call it a struggle between good and bad, or upliftment and evil. We will simply say that it is an event in place where certain laws and rules exist, and that Earth is certainly not the only place in existence that deals with this kind of challenges. You are unique in that biogenetic structure you operate within has much greater capacity and capabilities than you have ever dreamed of. It is so interesting to watch you perform within these struggles, because you have been convinced that you can utilize only a small percentage of your potentiality. In actuality, you are grand creatures designed in the image of gods, even gifted with this incredible potential. You have been controlled to such an extent that that potential has been denied its own existence. Most people use only 3 or 4% of their capabilities. Those who are more advanced may use 12 to 15% of their capabilities. Where does that leave most people? Where is the other 80 or 90%? What can that 90% of capabilities do? That 90% is awakening now, and the ancient eyes are going to begin to remember and see what the self is capable of being. When the ancient eyes are open and you recognize your true potential, you will stop arguing with yourselves. You will stop arguing for limitations, and you will begin to move beyond the things that you insist on using to hold yourself back. In ancient Egypt, it took many lifetimes for the initiates to train in the priesthoods to completely open their eyes to other realities. They were trained to reincarnate into certain families and to remember who they were. Mothers and fathers understood who they would be birthing because they would dream of it. They would know who was coming into their bodies before they even moved into conception. The eyes were much more open then and could see into many different realities. They were called the eyes of Horus because they could look into many different worlds. The world of waking and the world of sleeping, the world of death and the world of dreaming. You who are wanting to open your ancient eyes and who are the masters awakening have experienced training in many other lifetimes. It is now your time to integrate this training into a body and into a system that has nothing to do with temple life, into something that is not waiting to give you a place for your abilities. You are renegades, so your society is not waiting for you to bring your gifts forward as it was in ancient Egypt. There is no place to put these talents to work within officialdom, no sect within society. This is not how you are living it, so you will go at a pace that the body and soul and mind deem appropriate for the use of your talents. Do not chastise yourself for not accelerating at the rate that your ego deems appropriate. The ego has eyes that see one part of yourself. The soul, or the eyes of Horus, that look through you, has completely different version of what is appropriate. Knowing your needs, your constitution, and your blueprint, you will operate at a pace that will keep you intact. Mental institutions are filled with people who opened the ancient eyes and couldn't make sense of it or figure it out. They could not find their home station. Without a place to plug into, the delicate balance of the nervous system is upset. You are rapidly developing your nervous systems, and there are ways to recognize it. Even once in a while, you are able to catch the pulsation that takes you out of physical reality as you know it, out of the frequency that is third dimensional identity. You are then able to move into another vibration and see, feel, and recognize that something out of the ordinary, something extraordinary is going on. It is usual then that denial comes in, because if the logical mind can't explain what is happening or get a grip on it, you deny the experience or block the memory of it. It is best if you stay in your intuition, if you rely on what you feel, and even though it may not make logical sense, operate with trust. Impatience is a trap for many of you because you feel you need to move somewhere. Don't deny the virtues of the turtle who moves very slowly, stops to go inside and contemplate, is close to the ground and sees very well. When you desire an acceleration in this opening of the ancient eyes, state your commitment. Thought is, thought creates. If your thought is that you wish to move into an acceleration with the greatest growth and ability, that is what you will do. When you doubt, that doubt is a thought too, and it will also create itself. When you doubt occurs, it stops the expansion process because you deny the subtlety of what is coming to you. You are in this decade that we have labeled the unnamed decade, the 1990s. It is during this time that all the great events are going to begin to occur upon Earth. Many events have already been occurring, but when they have been segregated away in little compartmentalizations, officialdom is now outgrowing its own outfit and can no longer fit within its boundaries because it does not hold reality as it is truly evolving. Those of you who are ancients, who are the master awakenings, as you awaken, we want you to be able to see out of the ancient eyes and to awaken something that you know, something that you remember, something that is deep inside. You are going to need to trust yourself and rely upon yourself. You need to be able to see, to understand what you are seeing, and to translate the grander vision for others. You will come to an understanding or a vast impulsion of consciousness that will move you to know who you have always been. It is up to you and only you to undo the locks and allow yourself to go forward. We have spoken about your beliefs and the importance of thought. We emphasize over and over again that you are a result of thought, and thought is, and that this is the essence of understanding, manipulating, and working within your world. When you begin to take this process from the intellect and put it inside your body, and when you begin to commit to live your life this way, then the ancient eyes will really begin to see. As you begin to view your soul's history, your identity in this particular body, the I, may seem to be very insignificant. You have a magnificent essence expressed on this planet in very ancient times, and there is so much more going on than you can presently perceive. It is as if existence is a book 3 feet thick, and you are on the first couple pages on this planet with the awakening of the new age. You are going to go through this whole book in your lifetimes. As you compute all of this information, the story will flood your consciousness as you begin to drop the boundaries of where you think and civilization exists and came from. As you begin to dismantle your identity, cherish, honor, and love the variety of identities that you are, and do not feel that any of them are insignificant. Honor each one, whether you are picking strawberries in the fields or looking for cigarette butts on the street corners. Allow the aspect of self that carries the primordial fire to express itself through you. You can still be the I when it is appropriate to be the I. Then when the vastness of energy wishes to utilize your physical vehicle as part of the plan to affect reality, the I is not annihilated. Instead, the I is incooperative. This is becoming multidimensional. This is being able to move. You each know that you are here in a time sequence that is quite profound. The age that has been written about, whispered about, and spoken about is upon you. It is the age when humanity physically mutates before your eyes and literally turns into something that it was not a short time before. What do human beings turn into? It is quite simple. Human beings turn into multidimensional beings. This is a big word and a big concept. However, it is something that will be as familiar to you as tying your own shoes. Multidimensional humans are humans that consciously exist in many different places all at once. Humans are mutating or evolving into beings with the ability to flip from one station to another and to understand the grandness of who they are, that they do not end where their skin ends. Human beings do not end where the aura or etheric body ends. They exist in many different realities. This is the age of the multidimensional self. The self who can move with awareness in many different realities. The self who can eventually biocate and disappear. The self who can move into fourth dimensional consciousness, the perceiver, not the thinker. It is the age of the self who understands that the thinking portion of self is very important, but that it is not to be the CEO of the physical body. It is to be an advisor. Intuition is the avenue that you are now being guided to cultivate, to bring about a marriage of consciousness. It is the marriage of the male aspect, which is logical, with the female aspect, which is feeling. It involves bringing them together to become one. It is time to get moving. You are at a very critical point, and it is time for a huge change, a huge leap, a giving up, a releasing, and a letting go. It is time to completely allow light and spirit to move you throughout your existence, and time to let yourself become one with the multidimensional aspects of self and portions of self that you have no idea exist. These aspects of self really do exist. They are connected to you and are using you, the standard barrier of your soul, as the vehicle of movement for light in this universe at this time. Those within our group who plotted the probabilities of Prime Creator were correct in much of their time travel and anticipation. Indeed, Prime Creator is sending a change of vibration to this area of existence, this free will zone of consciousness. The action is taking place here on Earth now. It is starting here, at this corner of your galaxy, on the fringes, at this end of the universe. This is a vast experiment, and it is with great excitement and great longing that each of you came to participate in. Have courage. You cannot emphasize that enough. Have courage. Follow your inner guidance and trust yourselves. Call energy into your physical bodies and utilize it. Defy the laws of humanity, because that is what you came here to do. You are renegades, and we are renegades as well. There are those who could not travel this route of consciousness, and that is fine. It is not an easy route that we move your consciousness through. The route will give you rewards that your soul is after, even though the rewards may come through battles. You are bushwhagging through consciousness, and you will come to a place where the vastates are grand, and you have completely new options about where to go, both on and off this planet. Those who are involved with you will discover that they have new options as well. All of the consciousness drawn to this planet at this time will begin a spark of evolution that will change the universal structure. Think big, think really big, and go for it. Who are these multidimensional selves? Many times you have been led to believe that there are other portions of yourself that are much more together than you are, and that know much more than you do. To some extent that is true, and to some extent it is still true. However, you will find that in being the standard barrier of your soul, you will begin to activate data that is stored inside of your body that carries your whole history. How will you know when these aspects of self begin to show themselves? This can be very subtle, or it can be very be given hit over the head with a 2x4. It simply depends on the self. You may be sitting one day and find all of a sudden that upon blinking your eyes, you are sitting in a different room that is getting hit over the head with a 2x4. More subtly, you may be walking down the street looking at a window display when suddenly a mannequin or picture or word triggers something inside of you. For a moment, you drift off and get a clear image, a simultaneous identity of yours, existing at the same time as you. You will begin to discover aspects of yourself that exist non-physically, or parts of yourself that exist as beings working in space who are truly space creatures. The soul is going to wake up. It will know every aspect of itself, and every aspect of the soul self will know all of itself at once. You will be aware of all the realities at once, as you learn to ride the vibrational rates and become fourth dimensional. You will develop this ability by first balancing 3 or 4 realities, then 5 or 6, and so on. You are awakening Prime Creator's abilities and will become your Prime Creator. Your Prime Creator's goal is creating this universe and all the universes was to develop itself to such an extent and have so many multi-dimensional channels of data open that it, whose consciousness is in all things you know, could become aware of itself in all things, aware of every event that all things involved in, and compute this and not go insane. You are evolving that ability in yourselves. Basically, the part that you are presently going through is the toughest part because you are doubting and wondering if it is really real. The body says one thing and the mind says another. The body says one thing and society says another. The knowing is growing. And it is a knowing of what is awakening inside you. You must be committed all the time. When these gifts and abilities begin to be first-hand experiences for you, you must learn to work with them no matter what. Begin to know that you are divinely guided and that all events are drawn to you for your upliftment no matter what kind of upheaval they seem to produce in your life. Ultimately, these events will make you richer. The present situations is like someone dumping barrels full of gold in your backyard and you saying, gosh darn it, the gold is reckoning the grass. You think the lawn isn't as beautiful as it used to be because of all that gold is being dumped there. Whenever you get an experience, learn to participate in it. Be a full participant in your physical body. Enjoy it, have a good time with it, and learn how to simultaneously observe your experience. The impact of your experience, the effect of your experience has on other people and yourself and the results you get from all of your experiences. Then, whenever something of an extraordinary nature comes into being, you can say to yourself, oh goody goody, here it is again. What can I learn from this? When you are not having these experiences, begin to fantasize, take charge of your life, and act as if you can command or move one of these experiences the next time it sneaks up on you. You can do this the same way you may have learned to come awake in a dream and command that you do not be chased by a boogeyman or to make the bell ring when you are just about to get an F. You must, as individuals and as a species, cultivate this kind of belief or intention over all experiences of life. There is a convergence of yourselves about to occur on this planet. The selves that you are going to meet are coming from all over the universe. There are selves that purify you when you think about them, and selves that you could die of heart attack looking at. They are selves that you are. Earth is going through initiation at this time. You are going through an initiation because you are a part of Earth, and you cannot separate yourself from the system. Earth is transforming itself and intending to act as a domino for your solar system. It is intending to merge multiple worlds into one, to be grounded enough to allow all those worlds to exist and to translate the experience. This is what Earth is up to, so of course you all must be up to the same thing. The 3D world is headed for a collision of dimensions, not a collision of worlds, a collision of dimensions. Many dimensions are going to come crashing into each other. Some of these dimensions may seem horrifying and very frightening. The test, the initiation, and the initiation always means to move through another reality to conquer it and transmute it. It is to be faced with these energies and entities that seemingly are of an incredible darkness, and to understand that they are coming to merge with you because they are you. They are part of the multidimensional self, and you are the standard barrier, and you are light. Dark will come to light. Be very clear when you deal with these things. If you are hesitating about something, do not do it. Be clear. We define light as the promoting, dispensing, and sharing of information. Dark is the controlling and withholding of information. Think about this and feel it. You have come onto this planet with a coded blueprint to carry light and to bring about a huge planetary transformation. You have come to be the standard barrier of your soul, the portion of your soul that is going to lead. That portion of your soul says, I set the pace here, and the pace is light and information, no more being in the dark. Have you ever thought that there are portions of yourself that are in the dark that don't know how to find the light except through you? They want the light as well. They want solutions and answers. What you may feel is not necessarily the intent of the dark force, but the emotional makeup of the dark force. The fear that vibrates out of lack of information. Portions of yourself that are uninformed are going to come to you to be informed. How do you inform them? You shed a light. You share light. You say, I intend for all of my other selves to come along on this journey and for them to get light as well. It is quite simple. The battle between light and dark doesn't really serve you. It is part of the separation story that keeps you confused. In actuality, there are simple simply aspects of individual souls taking different gurus in conflict with themselves. You are battling yourself. The battle of light and dark and good and evil is only between portions of yourself. These portions are multidimensional extensions or reincarnations of the same collective of energies that you are a part of as an individual. Because you don't understand something, you fear it. As separated forms of consciousness that are a part of Prime Creator's game, you are in a universe that is made up of dualities. Prime Creator brought this universe into being with the components of free will so that free will could lead to chaos and then to realign of energy and a realization of the Creator within all things. With free will, all things are allowed and oppositions occur. These oppositions split off of the self just as the Prime Creator is in all things and allows all things. The things you meet that you fear are you. So when you focus on the story of good and evil and want to figure it out, all you need to realize is that you are playing ball with another aspect of yourself that allows you to play ball from your point of view. So-called evil serves a great purpose. You just judge it because it seems bad. As members of the family of light, when you exist in other places, you move into various aspects of yourself and play the parts of perfection. When you came here, you entered the density of the planet and worked with the double helix, which is barely functioning, so you forget many things. Now as you come awake and realize what you can become, you are leading yourselves towards the realization that you are your enemy. As members of the family of light, you have access to a tremendous amount of understanding that others do not have. You came in with it. You are being reminded of it, and you are now learning it and accepting it. Part of your task is to allow yourself to merge with yourselves that seemingly are your enemies and are separated from you. These selves are within all varieties of existence. The task is to also for you to carry the frequency of love, which is the frequency of creation, and light, which is the frequency of information throughout the collection of your soul. You have come together as a soul to gather experience and enrich Prime Creator. As you separate, you go off and act with free will however you choose, without judgment, so that you can gather the proper information and bring you to wholeness. This good and evil thing is something that can entrap you if you do not get beyond it. You are a collection of an incredible wealth of personalities who incarnate in many different systems of reality. As members of the family of light, you come into reality to bring information, and you do so in many different systems. There are versions of yourself that are doing the same thing within the communities of lizards, insect beings, or bird beings. You are a collection of personalities. As members of the family of light, the reincarnational experience of yourself includes non-human forms. A characteristic that members of Family of Light have in common with one another is their participation in many versions of sentences or components reality, compromised realities. Many of the forms that you have chosen to incarnate with would look very foreign and be very frightening to you, yet this is how you have evolved your soul. You do not incarnate in only one species. You are travelers. As you are in disguise as humans, you may be in disguise as lizards or something else. You do this so that you can unite yourself to understanding the essence of Prime Creator through a variety of species that seemingly have nothing in common. As members of the family of light, you know the inside scoop. You come as ambassadors to make realities merge and become more informed within themselves so that everyone involved can release fear and become uninhabited. Part of your job is to meet these other selves, to merge with them, and to feel what it is like. Ideally, you will become multidimensional travelers and will be able to take the force from your body. You may be working in the field, perhaps gardening or chatting with someone or picking strawberries, and something strikes you, a sound. You excuse yourself and say, I am being called. I will return later. You go and sit and allow your current earth personality to depart. With conscious awareness, you then take that personality to where it is needed to add the family of light's capabilities in that reality. You will know it. You will all become multidimensional players. You will think nothing of it when one of you excuses yourself from the others when you hear the tone and are called. You will travel with conscious awareness, and entertainment will come from the self. You will not seek to read books or to listen to tapes or go to movies, for you will be living those things. As you bring the abilities of family of light to this planet, others are not going to want you to be here because you will not fit with the other gods or with their gods. Not everyone wants to be free. You, as members of the family of light, are going to create a new earth that is going to be free. Those who do not wish to be free will have their earth as well. There will be a splitting and a time of separation. Members of the family of light know that there is no need to force anything. You are simply to work together in harmony, to support one another, and to seek one another out so that you feel comfort in what you do, because some of the things you do will be very outrageous. Each of you volunteered to come here at this time to carry a frequency. At this time, that frequency is light, but eventually you will learn how to carry the frequency of love. The large majority of you have no idea what the love frequency can be. You talk about love and light, yet you do not comprehend the ramifications and the true meanings of them. Light is information, love is creation. You must become informed before you can create. Do you understand this? As you grow and come to these higher realms of recognition, you will break through what feels like cement blocks, layers of yourself that have held you down. Think of the frequency that has limited the human experiment as a radio station. The human experiment has one radio station on for 300,000 years. Same old tunes. The human experiment was unable to turn the dial and hear a different band. So, the same frequency was broadcast. This created a quarantine, a sealing off of this planet. The creative cosmic rays sent by Prime Creator and the original planners pierced through the frequency shield. They bombarded Earth. However, they must have someone to receive them. Without a receptacle, these creative cosmic rays would create chaos and confusion. You, as members of the family of light, come into this system to receive these rays of knowledge. You then dismantle the knowledge, the new lifestyle, and the new frequency, the rest of the population to alter the entire planet. As members of the family of light, you are here to anchor frequency and allow the mutation process to happen inside of your bodies so that you can make it available to the planet. You live this process, then you broadcast it to the planet. What does that mean? It means that eventually your reality is going to change, and that how you deal with reality will change. You will stop being you as you know you, and you become more connected with all of the other yous who are looking to make the same leap in consciousness as this you. This process involves meeting and merging and using the multidimensional self. As you reach higher knowledge, you realize you are not alone and that there are multitudes of self. You are challenged to understand this. There is no reaching higher knowledge without going through the multidimensional self. This means coming into full realization and experiencing, meeting, and merging with a collective of intelligent existing in the ever-expanding now, beyond space and time. Believe us when we say that you, as families of light, made a vast study of the historical manipulation that has been going on this planet. Just as anyone sent on an assignment would be trained for a long period of time before they were sent out onto the field. Each of you have been trained, and you have the knowledge inside of you. Our part is to hit key chords and play your consciousness into activity so you can go ahead and make the tune or song or dance you are prepared for. Your knowledge is inside of you, and as you agree to discover it, it will awaken on a deeper and deeper levels. You will become very self-sufficient, those of you who agree to this. You will also become incredibly knowledgeable, those of you who do not stop because you are not frightened. Because you are frightened. We will say to you very honestly that fear will always play a part in your evolutionary process, so get used to it. Do not feel that fear is bad. When you scrub to your fears and allow yourself to buy into them, then you must cycle through them and experience all you feel so that you can overcome them. Begin to say, I will transmute this fear. I will understand that it is part of the plan. I will understand that it can serve me. Remember, your power and your ability to create reality through your will ends where your fear begins. And we will tell you, life is meeting fear. Begin to look at the events of your life and how you create them. Understand that you always create them to serve you. You are trained for this. You are coded for this. Other than that, beautiful beings, that was the teachings today of chapter 7, teachings of the Pleiadians, so we could better understand our universe and ourselves and what we are not taught and shared with today's world. So if this was insightful for you, please hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and stay tuned for the next chapter where we dive even deeper in understanding our evolution and how to create our life. Other than that, only love.